We do talk a lot in the book about voice of the customer as well.
Yeah.
Because what we've noticed, and we see this a lot in technology companies that are building services or applications for consumption, is that they'll have a product team who will think they're talking, that they believe that they are the voice of the customer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then,
yeah, yes, because we have had that here, and again, to your earlier point, when you're tech savvy and you're in a tech company, your role can become very confusing because you are a user of tech, you're a purchaser of tech, you've got tech at home, you're pretty comfortable with tech, you've got a tech degree. Of course, I'm the customer, I must be right. But you automatically frame that conversation as you're looking at a consumer of tech with the same knowledge that you've got, where the end user that you're talking about doesn't have anywhere near the understanding that you've got. So you have to, by default, remove yourself as being a customer because that customer doesn't have your understanding. That person is, like, I always go to my mum whenever there's anything to do with painting a clear picture or how to explain my way through technology. If I can do it that mum could wrap her head around it, then it's a win, because my mum is the least technical savvy person in the world. My mum gets anxious just at the thought of using technology. So for my role in our business, I've always tried to do that. I don't always succeed, but yeah, remembering that you have to build solutions for the lowest common denominator out in consumer world, not for the person that has the same skill set that you've got.
I think I remember when the first iPhone came out in Australia. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Was it 3G?
3G.
Yeah.
No, 3G was our one, and then 3GS was the speed bump. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got the 3G. I remember my husband was an absolute early adopter. So
It was day one.
Yeah. So we've still got the Apple Newton in the cupboard.
Oh, really?
It still works.
Yeah.
Well, as works is a relative term. It turns on.
Yeah.
It's still as responsive as it was when it came out. But I remember my husband saying to me, "Do you want one of these new smartphones?" And I said, "No, I've got my Nokia. I like my Nokia.
Yeah.
I know what it does. I'm okay."
Snake.
What I didn't realize, my Nokia could actually go onto the internet, but it was so complicated to do it. I never did it, but I was used to my Nokia, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I could put it on its little mount, and I could have my hands free, and when I was driving and do that sort of thing. But I remember him opening the box. I remember the sound, and it was so pretty. And then he powered it up. And I looked at it, and it was so intuitive that I literally was on that within 5 minutes.
Yeah. I have goosebumps while you're saying this because I had exactly the same experience.
And that's voice of the customer at work. And Apple does it extraordinarily well.
Yep.
In that first instance. I mean, obviously then there are the other companies that come out and jump on the back of all of that, and they may do some things that are better and all that. But that first moment, and I remember my husband's grandparents, they were octogenarians at the time. They bought iPhone because it was easy to use. They could actually use it. And they bought iPads because they needed to be able to book their golf at their golf club on the iPad. And it was, again, so intuitive and easy to use. So when we talk about voice of the customer, if you relinquish control of voice of the customer to a product team, then you're absolutely right. The product team is going to think about how they would use and consume, not necessarily how the different demographics within your market are going to use and consume. And that's where voice of the customer is so important. And we talk a lot about that in the book as well.